ESports, what else can you counter with the wind wall? Maybe the Gragas from his barrels, or maybe the Kaisa, but that's not the thing. Kaisa is a diver champion. We're in the color instinct. Once that connects, and once you misplace a wind wall, that's GG well played, right? That's
Yep.
massive amounts of consistent damage into the back lines of your enemy team. So yeah, I think Yasuo's wind wall, I think, is gonna be key when it comes to trying against out the Kaisa. And yes, when you're talking about the early game, it can counteract the Shuriken, but considering the nerf of the Shuriken, nevertheless, I think it has a shorter range. So yeah, I mean, you could just dodge it left and right, go for
Yeah.
some micro macro plays.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. Members here
Mm-hmm.
of Team Sunspark pulling of a very aggressive invasion by
Mm-hmm.
sending 3 members on one lane. Rather, 4 members on one lane allow 3 to actually go for the invade and go maybe for a very quick turret push. And because they can, this is actually a composition usually run by Sunsparks 2 of having the Ziggs be within the kill range of the turret. But of course, with this new minion stack, Morites will be joining the party, still sitting at level 1. Can they get the turret at level 2? Members here of Sunsparks already has the level advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Rather,
I mean,
they're kiting back. Yeah.
they have to. They have to take it. It's gonna give them a massive amount of damage, and having that Ziggs, that is gonna utilize his max efficiency. And I think that wasted a lot of time for the side of Liyab Esports. At the same time, you have Alistar and Vi trying to roam around the riverside, going to the top side. But nevertheless, we're gonna have another fight from that. Yes, not being able to take the first blood.
Very easy pick actually on that Yasuo, and
Mhm.
Sunsparks is, again, it's not a draft disadvantage anywhere, but rather a rotation.
Yeah.
Rotational disadvantage in my opinion. The plan of Sunsparks on actually taking down the turret onto the Baron lane very very quick got foiled by Morites and even the Kaisa. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's Nixu, if not Gambit on the ADC position. And also onto the mid lane, it got pretty maintained and everything resets onto the map. We are onto the 2-minute mark of this game. And they're separating the Ziggs on the misfortune. This is very dangerous because by the 3-minute mark, the Vi, Pozo Jungle, will be able to complete this rotation onto the top lane side and they can make a dive against Chami.
100%. And I do think Ziggs should just fall back for now, tower hug, very completely, because you don't have any supports. And considering Ziggs is just too squishy into the early game, it's just too hard. And you have a Vi as your enemy team. But nevertheless, you know what? He went in for the early reset, buy some items to go for more damage into the early fight. And I think the mana tiers is already up. But Zed, into the mid lane, I didn't see it. But that is another kill to the side
Yeah,
of, yeah.
Liyab ESports 2-0 on the running score. Still not really so big on the gold lead. Maybe 1k for that part. Sizable in the early game. But the big headline here is the 3-minute gank. You can actually see Pozo Jungle, like we mentioned, by the 3-minute mark, has his level 5 already. All they need is to have Morites rotate there. But maybe if Morites will be shown on this ward here, Chami's playstyle would be a bit more free onto the top lane side. But he's being careful. He did sense, he knows that this is the timer where level 5 should be available and quite anticipating where the Vi will take his entry as he cannot see the Vi on the Riverside Jungle.
Mm-hmm. And I think Vi, right now, 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, overing to the top side of the map, it is going to be scary. And I think it is also something to be expected that these two teams are now going in for some resets, because that is going to be the Ocean Break in 20 seconds. And as expected right now, you have Misfortune going in for the reset. You have Brum going in for the reset. That is going to be very important. And I think that is important when it comes to taking a highlight. And, ooh, that Ziggs
Okay, very good pick. Where's the collateral damage? Level 6 will not be burned by Fate. Actually, it's not available. I think it got burned too early. But still, 5722 will bring in the 0-0 into the face here of the Zed. I'm gonna go for a push, maybe a rotation pick for the top lane side. But the clear path there is that members of Liyab will have a license in taking this Ocean Drake.
And now it's gonna be Sunsparks trying to go for the contest, but I don't think it's gonna be enough as they are too late in this fight. They were really just trying to hold on to the Baron lane, but nevertheless, they're gonna take the first blood, and that is gonna give them the gold advantage. But when you're talking about mid game, late game, it's gonna be very difficult as the Ocean Drake gives more sustainability to the side of Liyab Esports. Considering you also have the Kaisa that could utilize this very well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, aside from sustainability, the biggest point that the Ocean Drake can give is dueling capacity
Yeah.
in the form of the Omnivamp.
Mhm.
Right now, I think they changed that towards the Spell Vamp and also the Life Steal. But nonetheless, here's the timer, Infinity. 1 minute before we get into the Herald. Another rotation here. One wave clear will be done here by the Dragon Laners, and I think they will go for a quick recall. Yeah, there we go. Fortuna already setting up for the recall so that they can join the party onto the top lane side. But of course, members of Liyab are quite quick, went for the death mark here. But of course, Mega Inform gets casted on by Chami, and he knows how to roll with the Ziggs. Another first kill, 5722. Can he flash in? No, he won't. He won't dive in as he knows the backup is there. Moritz and Tokimo is gonna be rotating onto the top inside, making sure that no kills are handed more towards Sunsparks.
I mean, they have to. Sunspark needs to punish Liyab Esports this early into the matchup, considering they already they've gotten the Ocean Drake. They need something to trade off with that objective, and Rift Herald, I think, is gonna be the perfect key for them to make a comeback when it comes to objectives taken against Liyab Esports. And that tower is not gonna be enough to take it down home against that dragon that was secured by the side of Liyab Esports into the mid game, late game fights. And turrets are gonna be the answer right now.
See here, of course, speaking of turrets, you'd want a prelude to that one. That would be of the Herald. They focus Glacial Fisher handed on only one member of Liyab. But as 4 members will be receiving the explosive cast. Bullet time to stop and the advance of Liyab. It doesn't matter. But of course, there's still a lot of bullets coming in. Not from the Misfortune, but rather for the Grave, securing the Herald. At the back line, we got the Zed. He tries to dive in. No more death mark. But the fight carries on. The fight continues. Fate goes in. Gets dueled up. Void Seeker gets casted for by the Kaisa. And the Kaisa finishes up the Graves. Trapped in the corner near the Herald pit. And of course, the Zed tries to outplay also the Misfortune here, but it is gonna be Sunsparks that will bring in the hit.
Ooh, the ace, the wipeout from Sunsparks, and it's gonna be hard for Liyab Esports to take it all on when it comes to team fights. I've already stated when it comes to their draft a while ago that they're going in for the more of a skirmish type of setup. They're going in for that a single targeted setup against Sunsparks, wherein they've drafted like a Misfortune, a Yasuo, a Braum, which is a team comp type of draft wherein you are at an advantage when it comes to team fight.
Yeah, we did have a lot of parts on that team fight also, Infinity. But one thing I forgot emphasizing is the wind wall. That delivered a lot of hassle against 5722. I see the reason why they banned out the Yasuo against 5722 on that game number 1. Imagine that fight, Imagine that fight. The Glacial Fissure was not used in an optimal manner. Right? It's just one target on the Glacial Fissure. It was on the Vi. And no last breath has been used by 572. He knows it's still too early to go for that dive. And I would dare say even the AoEs on Liyab has been efficient. They still lost that match. More members receive the explosive cast compared to the members that receive that Glacial Fissure. Bye-bye, Yasuo.
Oh, that Yasuo with the wind wall is not gonna be enough to keep him safe, and that is gonna be the 2v1. Just delaying the fight with the ultimate. But overall, it's gonna be the kill to the side of the Esports. I mean, they wanted this. They have to get this, considering that 1-3-4 already, or 1-2-4 rather, for Yasuo, and getting already that Static Shift and Infinity Edge. They have to delay the scaling potential of this champion.
Fortuna actually casted that Glacial Fissure too early, but it should be enough. It's still perfect on at least zoning out and stopping the members of Liyab in contesting that Dragon. Dragon Mountain easily going into the hands here of Sunsparks, and it will just pan out so well when it comes to the sustainability for this Braum. And I would dare say also for the Graves.
The Graves for the side of Sunsparks, I actually don't know. I mean, you have the blind, you have the collateral damage, but I don't see its strength. I mean, in terms of the range as a jungler, I think you have that potential to go for that poking potential against the enemy team, but overall, I don't see its presence when it comes to team fights. I don't see its presence when it comes to the jungler overall individual matchup.
Honestly, it's not mainly on the jungle matchup too. It's mainly on how they layer those skills.
Yeah.
Right? Whenever a stand-up happens during this big team fights or during these big objectives. And right now we have one big objective happening into the map, but this is probably the most ignored timer of the game, and that would be of the Baron Pit. Because at the 9-minute mark to the 10-minute mark, even until the 12-minute mark, the most important thing is rotation and staying alive. Winning your team fights that matter, as you are clearly onto the late game. But let's see here, members of Sunsparks, they're gonna be securing and doing the campaign for Vision near the Baron Pit.
Yeah. The Rift Herald is now going to be casted though into the mid lane. I think that is going to be the nice bait for Sunsparks to then go for the Baron buff. I think that is a typical scenario here in League of Legends WildRift, right? You keep the Rift Herald to go for something more valuable when it comes to the objectives, right?
Yeah.
You can go for the second dragon, you can go for the Baron buff, and at this point, Liyab ESports, or Sunsparks rather, is trying to go for the Baron buff, which they are gonna initiate.
Rift Herald is just so important, man. I love the fun part of... Oh, wait, hold that thought. Oh, yeah. Killer Instinct gets casted near Chami. And very beautiful explosive cast. Honestly, by Tokimariman that actually displays Chami here. Chami is deleted, but there's so many members still available for the side of Team Sunsparks. Here comes Liyab. They have the numbers advantage, burning through the ranks of Sunsparks, and it's only fate that remains. That collateral damage won't allow him to escape as the belly sticks to him from Tokimo Ariado. With 3 members, let's see. I think Liyab will just go for the push.
And Liyab ESports utilized their draft. Single targeted, split up the Sunsparks. They were going in for the Baron buff. They were already damaged in that fight. And that was a perfect opening for Liyab ESports to make a comeback play. Like, Sunsparks, you know what, took the ace earlier. But Liyab ESports says, you know what, we're gonna take it once more. We're gonna make it even for both of us. And we're gonna take the ace.
Beautiful explosive gas by Tokimo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a single target, explosive gas, but in my opinion, Chami is a high-value target against the side of Sunsparks. Really well done also for Chami for surviving that for a little bit. But without definitely, right after the stasis, as explosive gas was thrown towards his face, nice follow-up by the members of Sunsparks, like, such as the bullet time in zoning out Liyab. Still, it's an awkward position already for Chami. That's the thing. So, remember that it was of Sunspark that's been winning the team fights, right? Before that pick of Chami.
And I think that ace just changed it all. From a massive advantage of Sunsparks, now down to even. You know what? Around 300 gold lead, but is it really that big when it comes to this late of a game in terms of 12 or 13 minutes into the matchup? But nevertheless, Cloud Drake is now available, and these both teams are looking to contest it.
I need to be careful. Moritz is onto the side. Teleport is also coming in from Pozu Jungle. Into the middle, that would be of Moritz. Moritz is just so squishy. Very late to the activation of his own ultimate. Killer Instinct. Will that be enough to reposition? No, he got repositioned in the underworld. The Kaisa will be saying his goodbye. And you can actually see that, of course, the Zed will just commit towards his split. Into the bottom lane, we are seeing Tokimo Ariado. Let's see. The last breathing. Airbender. Hiya. Bruno Kyunshin is also announced to be arriving in cinemas, ladies and gentlemen, and that's it. Yasuo gets the kill on the Gragas. Down at the top lane side, Tribrush, Pozu Jungle. Can he make the Saitama punch to... No, it's too early. Yep, yeah. That's it.
Too early of a fight. Like 2k HP that you just jumped. That was a waste. But yeah, I mean, an airbender versus a drunk bender into the dragon lane, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna win? Anyways, so took the dub, took the win, took the W, and that Vi just went in too early in that fight. I think 1.5, 1.3 would have been great, because that was, there still has the casting time for that flash or that jump. But
and again, they just need to be careful on taking fights against Sunsparks. Sunsparks is very capable and doing extended team fights. Very, very curious on that Killer Instinct. It's more like, not really Killer Instinct, but Killed Instinct, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not so sure. Let's see, as members here of Team Sunsparks already knocking towards an inhibitor turret. Here's the deal. All you need to do is boot in the Unbreakable near the Ziggs. Did Chami burn his satchel? No. Oh yeah, he did burn his satchel. So this inhibitor turret will still need to be wait out. There we go. He did finish that one in auto attack for the passive. And again, what is being done here by Team Liyab is to have the Zed go for the split push. but rather Sunsparks will not just take one, they will take two against Liyab.
Yeah, that is very detrimental for Liyab Esports. As two inhibitor turrets is basically just putting you at a very bad situation where you just can't leave your base because there is a potential for that backdoor. There is a lot of lane pressure against you in two lanes. So it's really just gonna be hard at this point forward for the side of Liyab Esports. But still, of course, from an ace, from a wipeout, there's still gonna be potential. We have seen it happen time
Ah,
and
yeah.
time again. And why
The
not happen it
comeback.
once more in this game?
Yep. It's very, very cool. If you look at sets, if you look at the Misfortune, the way he holds her gun, the way she holds her gun, this
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of Death the Kid. Are you familiar with Death the Kid? Not,
No.
yeah. It's well, it's not really a very old anime. It's from Soul Eater.
Ah.
If you're familiar with the anime right now, for Netflix, which is called Fire Force. The same, there it came from the same creator as Soul Eater. It was a really it is a good anime. It is a good anime. The way he holds his guns, he used the pinky finger as the trigger finger with this Misfortune. But the biggest highlight of this Misfortune skin would be of the way the bullet time sounds. Like it's so intense. And now looking to the Misfortune, he joins his teammates down at the bottom. Let's see here. They have the Vi. Down at the top lane side, I think they plan on killing up the Yasuo. The Yasuo is also sent towards them. But the problem here is will Morites, along with the Kai'San, even with Toryomo, be enough to defend this base? They're going for the push onto the top lane side. Honestly, this is round 2 once again to Sunsparks because splits are being done. They're bypassing. They get 2 Guardian Angels. Will that be enough?
Oh, no.
There are actually recalling they need to get the teleport. They need to get the Omega Special. Had it been they have teleport, they could have finished the game.
Oh no! It's 700 HP remaining, and that Yasuo might have been alone. That could have been the win. That could have been the W for Liyab Esports, and that kill from that Zed is gonna enable Sunsparks to go for the Baron or to the Elder Infernal Drake. This is gonna be big time for the side of Sunsparks, and that Liyab Esports not being able to take the base is gonna
Yasuo.
produce massive advantage for the side
Oh
of
my
Sunsparks.
god! They did went for the teleport. They're sending here the
no,
Kaisa along with the Gragas. They want to finish this game. And you can see how Liyab tries to attempt to finish the game. But this is the bootleg Omega tactic, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, they need to have the Alistar be inside the base before the teleport comes in. Actually, the teleport should come in by the time also that the Zed and the Vi arrives onto the top lane side. That would have been a nice opportunity to teleport. Another teleport is coming into the top lane side, but minion waves are coming in at this mid lane next to Styrian, and I think that's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's not never again. Not again. Not today, says
Yeah.
Sunsparks. We've seen that from yesterday. Won't happen again.
That was too late. I mean, Yasuo already seen. Alistar, I think, was the first one, right? Already seen one of the champions of Liyab Esports before, like